first foster showed up with a trash bag of clothing in the middle of the night.
We are Devon and James, and we've had 21 kids. That includes our respite, first night, landing in care. We've only had a couple kids that have been over a few years. And we have had everything from a 3-month-old who we still see, up until a 19-year-old who was one of the kids from my library. I can relate to a lot of kids because I had not a great dad who went to prison, and it was really hard and really embarrassing. And I think it is one of the reasons that I want to help kids, because there have been people when I was younger who helped me, who looked past those things in my life and saw me as somebody worth helping.
I grew up in a third world country where there really isn't any type of foster care system. Any displaced child just goes to another family. So I didn't really know anything about the foster care system until I moved to the States and I saw what the US was doing. It's staggering, the amount of children that are displaced from circumstances they can't control. So we just decided to jump in, get licensed, and kind of help out.
It's hard to do, and I think a lot of people don't do it because they're afraid of the pain. And I would say that it's painful at times, but knowing that you're helping somebody at least have a chance is worth it to me.
Well, a lot of training that Amara also teaches that self-care is super important. Mm-hmm. So you gotta learn to take breaks or ask for respite with the next foster child.
Sometimes people get caught up in the system that really shouldn't be.
When my kids first were placed, they went with my family. My sister had a couple hardships, and they had to go to foster care, and which, I can't fault her for that, but it was really hard for me. It was very traumatizing and very devastating. It was the worst time of my life. When they got with Devon and James, the pictures that my social worker sent me were I knew off bat. And I'm like, okay, listen, they're kind of down to earth. I can tell, and my kids are gonna be fine, but it was just a weight lifted off of my shoulders. I wanna cry right now just even saying it.
One of the toughest jobs of foster parents is to convince the bio parents that they're good, they're safe. We're just here to, house them and care for them, and hopefully if you hit your markers, transition back to your house or to a relative's house or something. We're taking care of your kids.
Right off the bat, they made it that reunification was their sole purpose. I did all the things. I went above and beyond. I took classes that I wasn't even supposed to take. I got certifications, sent them to my, my CPS worker. I went really the whole 9 yards, and I got to be a mom. I got to be a mom again.
Right away from talking to Michaela, I felt really comfortable, and we advocated for her to get her kids earlier than the plan because there was no point in keeping them apart anymore. And so the judge agreed with us, and the girls were able to go home earlier than anticipated. I think that, because we had that openness is why we've been able to still see them and have that relationship with them. And I'm very grateful because Michaela has raised 3 beautiful, wonderful kids.
They're present, they're not gone. And I think that's amazing, is that, oh my God, I met these great people and they didn't walk out of my life. It just says a lot. They're just great. They are, they're an amazing couple.
I want all of the kids that have been through our house to have a great life, whatever that means to them. And I want those kids to know that they have value to us and to lots of other people, that they're their own people, and that they can stand by themselves and have a great life. And I hope that I'm modeling that for kids, that I didn't come from very much, but I have a lot now to be happy and grateful for.